Now, carrying on from the last video where we spoke about devices, I want to show you how you get more complexity within Bitwig Studio and how you can create multi-layered devices. In this example, we're going to take a look at how you can create a device that contains more than one instrument. So let me show you how this is done. I'm just going to click here to add an instrument, and we're going to go down to the instruments, the Bitwig devices, and for this, how about using the polymer? I'll click OK, and it sounds like this. Nothing too exciting, but let's see how we can get a more complex instrument by layering it. And to do this, you can just right-click on the instrument here and say Group, or you can use the shortcut Command-G or Control-G. Now, this creates an instrument layer. Now, within this instrument layer, you can add other instruments. So, for example, I can click here, and this time, let's go to the instruments, the Bitwig devices, and now this time, let's add a phase 4. So as you can see, you've got two instruments now. You've got the polymer and the phase 4 combined now. And you can hear this by just adjusting these volumes. So this is the phase 4. And then this, let's just get that to 0 dB. And then this is the polymer. So you can actually mix them in together. Now let me just show you another way of doing this. So I'm just going to take this and remove this device. So another way is to click Add, and you go to Instrument, you go to Bitwig Devices, and you've got a container. And in the container, you can add an instrument layer. So it creates the same thing. So basically, you can create multi-complex layered instruments using containers. And as you can see, there's many different types of containers. I'm not going to get to all of them in this video series, but you're going to get a good idea on how containers work and how you can build up more complex instruments within your production with it. So let's go back here and let's add the polymer again. So instrument, Bitwig devices, the polymer, and then let's add another one. Instrument devices, Bitwig devices, the phase 4. That's okay. And how about one more? So let's go for instrument, Bitwig device, and then the organ. So now we've got 3 different instruments combined within this instrument layer. And what you can do is you can add different effects onto each one, and then you can also create remote control mappings, which I will show you in a sec. So let's say on this polymer, I want to add an effect. So how the routing works is you've got the instrument layer, then you've got the instrument. On that instrument, you can add an effect. And then after all the instruments, so after the instrument layer, they are summed and you can add extra effects. So effects here will go over across all the instruments where this little blue icon, you can see there's this little blue area here indicating that that's instrument. We'll just go to the instrument. So for this, let's go to the audio effects, Bitwig. And how about adding a chorus? So we'll go chorus. So I'm just going to drop these volumes so I can hear each one. So this is the polymer. Maybe increase the rate speed. Okay, so that's fine for the polymer. Let's bring that down. Let's go for the phase 4. I'll click on that to show the device. On here, let's also go for an effect. So let's say Bitwig, and let's go for maybe a filter. And then after this, maybe a delay. And the delay too. So it's just got 2 different delays on the left and right. Bringing that down and then going for the organ. For this, let's add something else. So audio effects, Bitwig device, and Bitwig. And maybe for this, we can add some distortion. Just bring out some extra harmonics. You can actually focus on where you want the distortion to happen. That sounds good. So with all 3 instruments, we can mix them in together. And then after it, I want to add a summed effect. So for this, let's go for an audio effect, Bitwig device, reverb, and let's add the reverb effect over here. Maybe a hall. Perfect. So now I want to show you how you can do remote mapping. So if you click this button here, it gives you these controls. And with these controls, you can map it to anything here. So you've got quick and easy access to it over here. For this, I'm going to switch over to a presets page. So add a new page. And what you simply do is you simply click this and you choose what you want to map. So let's say for the organ, I want to add the distortion mix. So that's the distortion mix there. And I can just say organ. I can rename it so it makes more sense. So that's organ distortion. Okay, so let's go to the phase 4. And for this, let's just minimize things so we can see more clearly. Maybe for this, I want to map it to the delay. So I'll click that for the delay. And that's the phase 4 delay. Maybe to make it look better, I'll just say P4 delay. So here we can see it. Then for the polymer, same thing. Let's add the mix for the chorus. So I'll say polymer chorus, or maybe make it POCH, just so we can see things. So here you can see I'm changing the mix for the polymer, the phase 4, you can see that's changing the delays, and then the organ for the distortion. So I've got quite a lot of control. What I can actually do is minimize all these effects here. So all I'm really seeing is just the names of them. And then I can actually go in and start mixing things. So that's taken a simple single instrument, made 3 instruments, bundled together into an instrument layer, and then added some remote mappings so that we can easily control the instrument. So that's showing you the diversity and versatility of Bitwig and how you can build up a multi-chained device instrument. It's really a different way of thinking compared to some other DAWs where, for example, you just add your instrument and then following on from that, you've got your insert effects. Here, you're working in a linear fashion over here where you can create containers and within those containers, create other effects. Now, this isn't only with instruments, you can also do it with audio effects. And what I mean by this is I mean the layer. So let's just take an example. I'm going to go across this audio track here and I'm going to add an effect. I can say Bitwig devices, audio effect, Bitwig, reverb, Bitwig, and choose the reverb. And the same thing, I can right click on here and I can say group, and then I can add further effects. So let's say this time we'll go for something else. So Bitwig device, delay, and delay 2. So let's just keep it simple. We keep it to 2. So there you've built an effects layer. And you can see the same thing here. If I just click here to show you the insert effects, I can go to audio effects, Bitwig devices, and containers. And in containers, there's a whole bunch of containers that you can use for your effects as well. For example, an effects layer. And then the same thing for here. I can go over here and map things. I can create a new presets page and map stuff that I want across to here for easy access. So for example, on the reverb, maybe I want the mix amount. So that's the reverb mix. Then I can go to the delay and I want to map this to the delay mix. And you could take it even further. Maybe I want to take the width of the delay and map that as well. So it's very easy just to map some controls to these remote mappings so that you don't have to go straight into the plugins each time. You can just go here and quickly have some access to that. And if you don't want to see that, you can just click here to remove it. So that is how to make some multi-chained or multi-layered devices within Bitwig Studio, depending on if you've got an instrument track or an audio track as well. Now, next up, let's go back into some more MIDI and the instruments and take a look at the note editor for the MIDI.